now's the time to update your fonts. And fonts is actually a similar philosophy to colours, where we lock down a palette of colours so that in the editor our content team could only choose the colours that we have chosen for them. Well, fonts is exactly the same. We're going to now create a palette of fonts for our content team to use in the editor. And the reason for this, and this is one of the biggest problems I see in website design, is that platforms allow the content team to go in at any time in the future and they give a whole library of fonts for people to choose from. That's a nightmare, because that means our content team can now be tempted to select fonts that are not in our brand guidelines, and they will, right? So we need to lock down the fonts and don't allow people to select them in the editor. So let me just show you what I mean by that. Let's go over to the editor and let's put a cursor here on this particular piece of text, and let's go over to our fonts. Well, here you can see all of my headings, and for each of the headings I can have a different style. Well, this is another key point of why content editors tend to be a bit tempted to choose fonts, because they know, as a content team, the power of SEO. So they know you should only really have one heading 1 on a page, and maybe 2 heading 2s and 3 heading 3s. It's almost like a pyramid, a hierarchy. So typically if fonts are created, then that heading 1 is always going to be bigger, okay? But what if they need to have a heading 3 lower down in the page, or a heading 5, but still make it large, okay? So this is the idea around creating a nice palette of fonts so that it considers all users and gives them that flexibility, so that they don't need to introduce new fonts into the platform, and they can always optimize the page for things like SEO.